So I just want to know, you know who I am, and an issue came up at one of the meetings late last year that I felt that needed to be addressed. And that is a couple of residents made some comments about the minutes and whether the certain text amendments that involved advanced manufacturing, data centers and related projects had been approved by the trustees. And so after that meeting, I pulled the minutes from the relevant meetings, and since I was present, I remember being there that the trustees held a hearing on the advanced manufacturing text amendments and voted on it and approved it. However, that was not in the October 3rd minutes that I reviewed online for the township. So based on some investigation and talking to Dawn, the fiscal officer, and some other staff at the township, I realized that the way the township is operated informally is that Lakeisha Sullivan, the administrative assistant, prepares minutes for all zoning hearings. And that was a zoning hearing under 519.12 of the revised code, which is the zoning text process. So what she did was she prepared certain minutes that that were never included in the township trustee minutes at that time. So that's what happened. The meeting happened, the hearing on those text amendments occurred on Thursday, October 3rd at 7 p.m. And but the minutes Dawn prepared started with the Pledge of Allegiance and the rest of the agenda. So Lakeisha Sullivan did prepare minutes contemporaneously with that meeting, but they were never submitted to the township trustees for approval. So what I would suggest is that the township trustees, and I think I've given you copies of those minutes that were prepared by Lakeisha, and that the board make a motion to supplement the trustee minutes with the minutes prepared by Lakeisha Sullivan regarding actually two zoning hearings that occurred that evening. Applications number Z30, C137, and Z3138. So those are in the packet of the memo that I sent you today. And in the interest of, instead of me providing a attorney-client privilege memo to the trustees, I thought that, given the public interest in the issue, I wanted to give a memo that everybody could look at and review on their own in the ordinary course. One other thing I wanted to mention as part of that, my research and analysis of that issue, is that the Ohio Supreme Court makes it pretty clear that the failure to have that in the minutes doesn't invalidate the action that was taken. The action was taken that night and it was effective that night based on Ohio Supreme Court precedent. So it doesn't undo anything. It's still a valid piece of legislation. And I would just ask the trustees supplement the minutes with regard to that meeting as requested. And I guess just a side comment on that as well. I would suggest that in doing that, I went back and I was looking at the website for the township. It probably wouldn't be too hard and would be good in the interest of transparency is to have all minutes for the BZA and Zoning Commission posted on the website as well. Probably not going to be a hassle. Those boards probably meet a couple times a year anyway. So as an ordinary course, so we could have maybe a drop-down tab with those minutes as well. So that's all I have. If there are any questions from the board.
So what was the date of that meeting?
October 3rd, 2024.
Anyone y'all have any questions for the author of the motion?
Is there not going to be any public input at all on this? There's not going to be any ability for the public to see these for themselves for at least a couple weeks? See these supplemented minutes?
You just received this today?
You
all
just-
of you?
I've had it.
No, but I mean, how can they approve minutes if they haven't even really read it? They just got it today?
I emailed it to the trustees.
Was there any audio recording of it?
Yes, there is. And
There's an audio recording of October 3rd?
Yes.
Can the public see that? Can you hear?
We can send it out.
Yeah, we would
Why
love to
isn't it
hear
on our
that.
website? I just find it interesting that you want public involvement, but when you had a hearing, where was the public? Was there even a single person here? You think people would want to be there, so obviously they didn't know.
There'll be public comment later this evening.
I did have a question just for you. Other than our township currently, who else do you represent, townships and municipalities?
Let's see, Danbury Township and Ottawa
We
County.
shouldn't use that in the account.
Okay, I'll comment on that just because I was gonna say that's part of my spiel, is that I currently represent, I'm not gonna name the specific places, because candidly, I don't want them to be contacted directly, but I do, I do work for Danbury Township and Ottawa County is one. I do work for, Hancock Regional Planning in Hancock County and the city of Findlay. I do work for, let's see, a couple of municipalities over in the Huron County area where I've rewritten their zoning codes for them. I've just argued a case in the Third District Court of Appeals representing a township opposing a large development. And a couple of years ago, I represented, if you recall, there was opposition in the city of Waterville opposing the construction of an amphitheater. I represented the residents that opposed the amphitheater. So I've kind of done, in my 25 years, I've done a lot of work for local governments. I've represented people that are regulated, people that are applying, and I represent people that are opposing. I opposed the amphitheater, I opposed a Dollar General or two as well. So anyway, those are, that's some of my background. I did want to address that to the folks in the audience, but I do think that a motion to supplement the minutes would be appropriate, and then we can kind of go to the zoning report from Mr. Barnes and from there.
Okay, I would entertain a motion that the hearing from October 3rd, 2024 be supplemented to the township minutes on October 3rd, 2024, in the form of an offering a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I just need it.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, trustee Kester,
Yes.
trustee Havens,
Yes.
trustee Hood.
Yes.
And I'll defer to Mr. Barnes at this point.
Good evening, everyone. First, I'll start with the zoning report, and then I'll get into the economic development report. We had a couple violations we've been working on that I wanted to touch on right down the street here. 150 North Milky, this parcel that recently suffered a fire. We're working with the property owner to have that cleaned up. Also 327 South Irwin. We did talk about this a couple months back. That's the wooded parcel owned by the county commissioners, where there's been a lot of concern about the condition of the trees on that parcel. And it's, with the terrible weather that we had, it kind of threw a wrench into their plans, but they are starting on that now. And I think the residents will be very pleased by that process. We received a complaint on Rab Road on the property condition. We inspected that property, reached out to the complainant, and that's in process still. Permit-wise, we did 5 permits over the past month or so, which I included on there for your review. I'd like to get into the economic development side. Quite a few brief updates for you. We had the JEDZ meeting held today just before this meeting. So we're continuing to work with the JEDZ board and Lucas County Economic Development on a variety of projects in West Winds, along with the metro parks as well. We've talked here publicly several times about trying to get land in the industrial park back that was given to the metro parks by the county probably 10-15 years ago. So those land swap discussions are ongoing. We're hoping to get at least some of that property back in West Winds for economic development. We also talked at length on the CDBG grant that we're working on and that the county will be applying for us on, and that would cover the installation of some new sidewalks in West Winds, and then also a couple lighting projects. So that's mainly the latest update on the JEDZ. Wanted to touch on a couple conferences recently. So the TMACOG annual winter caucus was held on January 30th. I was the township moderator again, and I think it was a record attendance. Pretty much every township in the whole area, not just Lucas County, but
Southeast Michigan, Fulton County, Wood County, and some other counties was represented, which was great to see. As you know, we always talk about a variety of hot topics, current topics, and not just zoning, but really any topic that affects townships in the area. I thought there was a lot of great discussion this year. And then related kind of to that, we had our annual Ohio Township Association conference held in Columbus a couple weeks ago. And I thought, it seems like the sessions keep getting better and better. As you all know, laws are always changing, issues are changing, whether it's zoning, whether it's roads or trustee issues or fire issues, public safety. A lot of really valuable information I thought was shared at that conference. And one future conference coming up, real quick, back to the TMACOG Winter Caucus. Technically, it is not TMACOG anymore. It's gonna take a long time, at least for me. I'm so used to saying TMACOG. It's now the Lake Erie West Regional Council. Lake Erie West Regional Council. So that's their new name that was voted in place on January 30th. So speaking of that, they're having their inaugural, they're calling it the Lake Erie West Region Economic Development Summit. It's going to be held in Bowling Green on March 6th. So I've registered for that, and I'll be in attendance for that, so we'll see how that goes. It's the first one that they're having, and so we'll see how it goes from there. So I mentioned a few of the conferences. I wanted to talk on House Bill 646 briefly, and the board may not be fully aware of it, the public may not be fully aware of it. It was recently introduced January 15th, and I have some information from Peggy Kirk Hall. You may have heard that name. I've known her for many, many years. She's an attorney and also a professor at the Ohio State Agricultural and Research Law Program. She's been very, very in tune with agricultural issues over the years, has been a presenter at many, many conferences, and she had some great commentary. I just wanted to explain a little bit of this for the board's benefit, also for the audience's benefit. What is House Bill 646 and why are we even talking about it? Again, this was sponsored by Representative Gary Click and also Representative Kelly Dieter. And this was actually, this bill was introduced as an emergency measure that basically will go into immediate effect upon passage. So I want to talk briefly about this because it affects probably one of the hottest topics in zoning, planning, and really local government is data centers. That's what everybody's talking about. That's what communities are trying to navigate and deal with. And I want to touch on what this House bill will bring to the table. So the sponsors of this bill, they indicated that yes, there might be some economic development benefit in certain cases. Basically, it may work in certain situations, but there's a lot of concern in a lot of other areas. And the concerns is obviously where should that type of development occur? It's got to go somewhere, but where? What are the potential impacts of that type of development? We've talked here publicly several times that technology is changing very, very rapidly, especially as it relates to that use. Things like water supply, that's been a hot topic, farmland, things along that line. So what this House bill is going to do is it's forming a committee that's going to basically look into this use, look into the various issues, and I'll mention a few of those. It says this commission is going to examine some of these following issues. One, the environmental impact of these uses. Two, the effect on the electrical grid. Three, water usage, impact on the local supply of that. Also, noise pollution, light pollution, impact that they could have on the local economy, and also impact that they could have on farmland, along with some other issues. And so the way this process is basically going to work is that commission that they are going to set, they're going to hold at least 4 public meetings. 2 of those meetings will be to hear public testimony about data centers, and then 2 of the meetings are going to have expert testimony on those same topics. After that, the commission's going to submit a report on its findings and any legislative recommendations that they have to the governor of Ohio. And that all has to take place not more than 6 months after the bill's effective date. So after this commission issues that report to the governor, then that commission would terminate and would be done. So again, what does that mean? And I listed off to you a whole list of different things that they're going to be examining. I have an excellent handout, and if anyone in the audience wants to have a copy, come up afterwards, and I'd be glad to give. I have a bunch of extra copies printed off for the benefit of the audience. But even just a couple months ago, we mentioned that, yes, we did a text amendment back in 2024. Well, frankly, a lot has changed since 2024. There's things that probably should be tweaked to really carefully regulate such use for the protection of our residents. I think it really needs to have a very careful look at it. And at this point, with all this information in mind, recommend that you may want to consider a moratorium at this point with a definite length so that we can see what House Bill 646 is going to produce. I'm sure it's going to produce a lot of excellent information that we can use to help protect our township, protect the residents. So that would be my recommendation for you to think about and see if you would like to do that. There is a process involved with the moratorium, and maybe our attorney might be able to explain a little bit more on what that process looks like. That's pretty much all I have.
Just briefly, I don't want to talk a lot. So I know that some other political subdivisions, villages, and some townships have enacted moratoria. I think that's the plural, moratoriums, either way. And I think that they're not as simple and as great as some places maybe suggest they are. They do create some risks for local governments to put them on if they're too aggressive with them. And by that I mean I would not go over 1 year. I think the outer boundary of the length of a moratorium should be 12 months. I would not go longer than that because you could open yourself up to potential claims by the regulated community in that sense. If you notice, I don't think anybody's put on one for longer than 12 months. So that would be the outer bound. It probably isn't worth doing one for less than 6 months. But I guess the one thing in light of what Jacob said, I would give some thought to if, I don't know that I want to put I don't want to predict what the Ohio General Assembly is going to do, whether that's going to get passed or not. But if that actually goes through what's the House bill number, Jacob?
646.
If 646 gets passed, that could provide some meaningful input that could inform how we might change our regulation of these types of facilities. But I don't know when we would get that feedback. I mean, it seems to me, based on my review of the law, it's going to move pretty quickly, but it depends on when it gets passed. It sounds like it's going to be done within a year of when it gets passed, but if it takes 6 months for it to get passed, then we're pushing it out farther. But I wouldn't go longer than 12 months, and I would not do it. I haven't prepared a potential resolution for that. I'd want to draft that, and if you want one, I can have one ready for the March 5th meeting if you're inclined.
No, why actually do it? Like, you don't even have enough property in the township to even do it. Like, what's the point?
What's the point? I mean,
Then why'd you make a zoning
it protects
resolution?
you. It would put a pause on things until you get more information. Because I think one of the, and I'm not an engineer, and I haven't done the factual and engineering type of research to address some of these environmental, electrical grid, water concerns. There are concerns that are out there, and I don't know how to assess all of those. I mean, there are concerns, but I would like to think this process by this committee for the General Assembly could provide more insight to local governments in sifting through what's fact and what's fiction in that context. That would be the benefit.
otherwise, 11850 Schaefer. Yeah, I think a moratorium would be good. That's what we were going to ask for tonight. I would say that the amendment of the minutes for the meeting on October 3rd, 2024, that just doesn't look good. It just looks like we're cooking the books. I understand if we can hear an audio recording of that meeting, great. But if we can't hear an audio recording of that meeting, that is just really odd. Yeah. So if we can get a moratorium of 12 months, that would be great. I think that would be appropriate. And if you guys are staunch on keeping the text amendments the way they are, maybe we wipe them for 12 months and redo them, just so we can start fresh. And like Jacob said, the minutes or we know so much more, and everything's changing across time with these things. And maybe we have just a much more open process so everybody knows, and we can all be open about this. Because it created a lot of resentment that nobody knew about this and what it was. And there are 2 properties there that are marked out for data centers well, not marked out, but they're taken out by the Lucas Economic Development Corporation.
Lease options.
Yeah, they're lease purchase option contracts. They're in Spencer Township. So this is like a valid concern. It's not like a ghost that we're looking at. We're looking for. We're not trying to find something that's not there. And so, as long as we're exposed, we should, maybe redo the text amendments so everybody can see the process instead of find out about it a year and a half later and then have an amendment in one meeting without any public input. I think that would be reasonable. And then let's talk about where these lease option contracts are at, and then let's allow the residents to see the whole process. That's all I have to say. I had all this prepared, but 12-month moratorium would be great. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Laura Brown, 1750 North Grab Road. I'd like to echo what he said, being that I did come here today first and foremost to ask for a moratorium. Being that truly I don't know that, even though your attorney has provided that information, how well that would stand up in the long run. We do plan on going on forward with this to make sure that we've crossed every T and dotted every I. So I hate to make an accusation that it feels like he said that perhaps these are records that were put together after the fact, realizing you didn't have what you need. I find it odd that one person who always takes the minutes at the meetings and then someone else happens to take the minutes at a hearing, when they're all happening in the same time. You go in and out, you were already in a meeting at that point, and then you held the hearing at the same time. So just something doesn't sit right with that. In addition, I provided multiple public records requests, which Dawn has graciously given me some. However, they are spotty. Some of the pages had nothing on them. Some of the emails didn't have attachments. November the 6th, I made 12 requests, and a couple of them were answered, a couple of them weren't. They kind of jump around, and I feel like that's in a way to try to get me to miss something that I've asked for, rather than just providing them in a line. Some of them are 77 days out, and that is a violation of public records requests. I just got an email literally today, and I find that very coincidental, that it was given to me basically not enough time to prepare for this meeting. And if you were sending me that, why you wouldn't send me what the attorney provided, knowing that I was interested in this, wait until I get here to find out. The last meeting, your normal meeting in February, did you discuss in January that you wouldn't have your normal meeting? Because residents showed up for the meeting. So I will look forward to looking at the minutes you approved. Because a lot of your minutes are missing things, have errors. As far as we're aware, and you didn't address it in the information, where was the hearing published? Because there's no record of the hearings being published to the public, so that's part of your requirement. So even if you did all those things, if you didn't publish them, then it would also be invalid. I'm also still looking for more information about Jacob Barnes and his payment. I received some things, but not all. Not his expense reports, reimbursements, credit card statements, gas card, mileage reports. None of those have come through, only his base pay. I received today his emails with Matt Hireman, which is a gold mine that I will be digging through. But I also have the right to the text messages too, and I have not received those either.
If I might say, Richfield Township did a
They're not interested in hearing what you have to say. They'll do whatever they can. Right here in it, Mr. Barnes stated
Receipts for the month of January were $330,699.53.
Can I say something before you start the financials, to address some of the
Can I
comments,
ask a question?
statements that have been made?
Oh, Teresa didn't have a chance.
What?
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, you can go to the mic.
Sure, thanks. My name is Teresa Bettinger. I live at 1503 North Rab Road. Just question. When Richfield Township, and I don't know about other ones, but they sent out letters to all of their residents asking their opinion. Isn't that something maybe you guys could do too? I mean, 86% of the people that replied in Richfield Township did not want the data centers. If you really want to be open and really care about your residents who you're representing, I really think it would be nice if you would send out a letter, say what's going on, and get people's opinion. A lot of people don't even know about the meetings, they're busy at night, this, that, and the other thing. Anyhow, that's my thought.
Definitely take that into consideration. Some of the things that were mentioned before, because I know I'm not here tonight, I can't speak for anyone else to address it. We will consider what has been mentioned about the moratorium after we've got more information, some of the information that Jacob was mentioning. I would like to look at that, but I think we're at least open to the possibility of considering it. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to say in regards to that. So, continue, Don.
All right. Like I said, receipts for January were $330,699.53. We did receive a judge disbursement of $307,525. Payments were $106,085.68. Total fund balance in cash $3,581,804.31.
Mr. Chairman, I offer a motion to accept the financials as read with any necessary correction.
I'll second it.
Roll call, trustee Kester,
Yes.
trustee Havens,
Yes.
and trustee Hood.
Yes.
I'd also like to mention that we just received our amended certificate from January, from the Lucas County Auditor. couple days later, we received a new, statement from the Port Authority for our revolving loan fund. It's over $2 million now. So I have to request a new, amended certificate, because that needs to be included. Yeah, that amount needs to be included. Yeah. I sent it to you. Also, we're just coming back from our, meeting in Columbus, Winter Conference, and we always get information. And at that, I was informed that every year, and I did it when we first started, but I didn't know it had to be done every year, that I need to get permission to electronically pay certain bills online, because the board generally only meets once a month. There's things like Toledo Edison, Ohio Gas, Triotech, which is our IT services, cable, which is our phone and internet, Menards, City of Toledo, the water bill. Menards? City of Toledo water bill, cell phone bill, and printer leasing. Those all are time sensitive and we could incur late fees. So those are the bills that are paid, electronically, so I need to get permission to pay bills electronically. And I also learned that I don't have to read, resolutions, I just need to do like I just did.
Gotcha.
So that is resolution 2026-02-19D is in board.
Okay, I will offer a motion that we give the fiscal officer the permission to pay electronic, bills online.
Just those bills that are, and that's all of it, we'll be looking for those, just those bills, nothing else.
Right. Okay, so that's my motion.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, trustee Kester,
Yes.
trustee Havens,
Yes.
and trustee Hood.
Yes.
And, okay, that's it for that.
I offer motion to pay the bills for the month.
I'll second it.
Roll call, trustee Kester,
Yes.
trustee Havens,
Yes.
and trustee Hood.
Yes.
These meetings. Jens?
Yep, we did receive fourth quarter disbursement for 2025. Spencer's 75% share was $307,525.82. White House did receive $402,508.61.
Correspondence?
Yep, Blanchard, in your things, you should see the Blanchard, prepayment option for our lawn services for 2026. They, offer a discount if we pay in advance, and it includes 5 applications, for spring, summer, winter, which I guess the winter is done like late fall, I guess. But they're for 612 Chrissy Road, which is at the sign, the new sign. The fire station 9445 Frankfurt, which you should see all of them. That's the amount right there. And then here at the town hall. So for each one by prepaying, you save 6%.
Doing quick math, it looks like we'll save about $110. Sorry.
Just shut up, Teresa, do it. You used to be a trustee.
Go ahead
Okay.
with the prepaid program with Blanchard, for the 5 applications for the 3 addresses. Red, 612 South Chrissy, 9445 Frankfurt, 630 North Milton.
Can I ask a question?
Well, motion right
Right,
now.
but before you do the motion.
He's already entertained it, but go ahead, I guess.
How come our maintenance people don't mow that grass like they used
No,
to?
this is for fertilization.
Fertilization,
I'm sorry, okay.
that's okay.
Go ahead, Rick, give the motion again.
So yes, I will, entertain a motion that we take advantage of the prepaid program through Blanford, with the 6% savings of properties.
I will second the motion that we pay the prepaid payment to Blanchard for the fertilization of the 3 properties that were mentioned.
And roll call, trustee Kester,
Yes.
trustee Havens.
Yes.
Trustee Hood.
Yes,
Okay. I'd like to, back in, early January, trustee Hood and I met with Michael Steele from Whittingham Agencies. Actually, he failed to do it last meeting. And he, sat down and talked to us about life insurance for our hourly employees. And I'd like for him permission to schedule something for him to come and speak with the board about it. It's no cost to the, township, and it would only be for our hourly employees, life insurance, because we don't currently offer, life insurance.
What, just take a percentage down
Well, whatever, like the premium is, that's the only work we would do, is to pay the premium, but he can explain that to you guys, so. So, you don't need to make a motion for that, just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. We did receive franchise fees from Buckeye, $216.98. And that's it for correspondence.
Anything for old business?
no, not me.
No, we was talking about the water line that Tim brought up. So,
Are we gonna, what are we gonna do about slumbering or water line? Since it's taking the county so long, should we?
Did we submit for that?
No, that would be this year, when we would request that one.
So,
So we've done, and each year we've done Irwin and Eber, and then our plan is the next.
so we can put in for that one.
It's supposed to be done already.
Yeah.
We're already a year
We're
behind.
behind, way behind. But that would be a suggestion, right, we could apply at the March meeting.
Let me get with Nate and find out all the dates, and, we'll go ahead and move forward with that.
So that's to the sanitary engineers.
and we'll apply for OPWC funding again. And we'll,
Uh,
however,
Yeah, the OPWC, this one, well, yeah, we'll do that.
I had one thing Lakeisha asked me to bring up to the board. Okay. Yeah, go for it, go for it. No, because this was, I think we talked about it at the last, you guys discussed it at the last meeting, that you would like that done, so I asked her to look in, we also look into it.
I guess I didn't realize it was old business. So
Yeah.
under old business then, yeah, we were talking about, putting a calendar on our website for all of the meetings, for all of the boards, on a month-by-month basis, because we don't want to go a whole year out because anything can happen. So we want to put an active calendar on there that as things change or meetings come on, we can add it onto this calendar and post it onto the website, and so everyone can know when meetings of any of these boards are being held. Also, I'd just like to mention at the January 15th meeting, we did mention we were gonna be at the OTA on February the 5th. That was in the meetings from the 15th meeting, so that was announced. So, yeah, and I think putting that calendar on there would also be helpful, for any upcoming meetings going forward.
I agree. Yeah, I like the idea of
somebody that looks at a lot of different websites for townships and all that kind of stuff. If you're, so, you know, this board, you don't always meet that second meeting, so if on the first, you know, for example, if on the first meeting you decide that you're not gonna meet, and make sure you activate that and have Keisha pretty promptly.
Yeah, and that's the purpose of the calendar. It's the first meeting, we'll let them know it's been postponed, and
You do it on the calendar, so if somebody looks to next week, they know you're not meeting
Correct.
Thursday.
correct, and she's already agreed to update it and monitor it, so she would do that herself, so. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I would still entertain a motion to that effect to give her that permission for the cost and, the permission to update that calendar as needed and have it posted on our website.
I would second the motion that we put this calendar on.
Roll call, trustee Kester,
Yes.
trustee Havens,
Yes.
and trustee Hood.
Yes. That's it for old business, I believe.
And new business?
No, not me. God.
Just making sure I got everything. So they said the next meeting is March 5th.
Next meeting, March 5th.
That's it?
That's it. I will entertain a motion that we adjourn the meeting at 8:06 p.m.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, trustee Kester.
Yes.
Trustee Havens.
Yes.
Trustee Hood.
Yes. So like I said, I had Mr. Fox today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You guys want to tell us more about what was